Kansas is the largest wheat producer in the United States. The flour from wheat is used to make bread for sandwiches, pasta for spaghetti, cereal for our breakfast, cookies, tortillas, and muffins, like the muffin recipe on this DVD. So how is wheat grown and made into flour for all these products? First, the wheat is planted in the fall. By winter, it's already a few inches tall. The snow gives moisture to help the wheat grow in the spring. You can see it turn from green into a nice golden color. By early summer, it's time to harvest the wheat with a combine. After the wheat arrives at the flour mill, it's ready to be milled into flour. A wheat kernel has three major parts: the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. Flour is made from the endosperm. Thousands of years ago, wheat was milled by rubbing it between a large stone and a flat rock. Many years later, round millstones were used. You can see an example of them on the K-State campus near the flour mill. Today, Omar and I are taking a tour of the flour mill, and then we'll visit the bakery to see how muffins are made. K-State is the only college in the nation to offer Bachelor of Science degrees in baking science, feed science, or milling science and management. We're here to meet Dale Eustace, a professor at K-State in milling science.
Hello, Karen.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good to see you. This is my friend Omar.
Hi.
Hello, Omar, how are you?
I'm good.
You'd like to learn more about milling?
Yes, I would.
We'll show you what's going on here.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay?
The wheat is milled using large metal grinders called roller mills and sifters. The whole milling process can be explained as grinding and sifting, grinding and sifting. The wheat will eventually go through every mill in this room before we have flour.
This is the first break roll, and this is where the wheat first goes through a pair of rolls in the grinding process. These are rolls that we have in these roller mills over here for grinding wheat. When the mill is operating, these rolls are rotating towards each other. And one of them will be going, say, 500 RPM, and one will be going 200 RPM. So we have one's going 2.5 times faster than the other. So it breaks open the kernel, knocks loose the endosperm, and helps to scrape off the bran. And then those particles drop down into the hopper, and they're conveyed pneumatically through the pipes around the walls to the sifter, and then we'll send some of the bran back through here to take off more of the endosperm. And you notice there's grooves on the surface of this. This is to help hold the kernel with the slow roll, and the fast roll comes by and breaks off large chunks of endosperm. And this is what it looks like when it comes out. You can see the kernel's been broken. We've got a mixture of bran and endosperm, flour. We'll separate this on a sifter, and we'll get to see what the different fractions look like. We're now going to put it into a small sifter, which has the same clothing that we have in the sifter upstairs. And now we're separating these particles according to size. The coarse ones stay on top, and the fine ones work their way down to the bottom. Now this is the bran with endosperm still attached. We have to go through 4 more break rolls before we remove all of that endosperm from the bran. This is sizings, and this would make a breakfast food right here. It could be cream of wheat or whatever you want to call it. Okay, now here's some more, this is some coarse material. This would be material like middlings. We call that middlings, say first middlings or so. Now this will go to something like third middlings. It's getting finer. There's a finished product. That's flour. Every time we grind and sift, we make flour.
The mill at K-State had a fun way to get to the next floor. But we decided to take the elevator to get to the sifter room.
Ready?
Let's
Is
go.
it safe?
Oh, it's safe.
Let's go.
We made it. We made it.
Phew, that was scary.
Okay, Omar, this is a sifter that we use in the mill to separate the ground material that goes through the rolls. Operates like the little one we saw downstairs, but it's much larger. And I'll take the door off and just give you a glimpse inside to see what it looks like. Then we'll put it back on, and we'll turn it on so you can see this thing as it operates. Now on this, The ground wheat comes down the top. We take out the bran, and it will come down here, come down through here, through that spout, and go to the next roll. Okay, ready? And it's making the same separations that we did in the small sifter downstairs, except it's doing it continuously. Can you do that? A hula hoop? There you go. Okay, Omar, to check a sample, we'll open this up, put her hand in there. There. See what we got?
The larger material is sent back downstairs to another mill, and the flour that's removed goes in another direction. Remember, it takes a lot of grinding and sifting, grinding and sifting. Have you ever heard of enriched flour or enriched bread? Well, this apparatus is where vitamins and minerals are added to the flour just before it's bagged. The flour is measured by weight into bags. When a bag is full, the flour stops flowing and it's sewn shut. So how many pounds of flour will a bushel of wheat produce? Generally, a 60-pound bushel of wheat will produce about 45 pounds of flour for baking and 15 pounds of mill feed that can be fed to livestock. We made some muffins in the studio recently, but let's see how the bakery at K-State makes muffins. Jane Lee, a grad student and researcher in baking science, shows us how.
Oh, hi. Good to see you, Jane.
Oh, good to see you.
This is Omar. He's ready to make some muffins today. Can you help us with that?
Sure.
Before baking, we put on hairnets for food safety, and we washed our hands. Just like at home, all the dry ingredients are carefully measured into a bowl. First, we added flour and sugar. All the ingredients are carefully weighed instead of being measured with teaspoons and cups. Next, we added corn syrup.
Wow. Okay. Very sticky.
Yeah.
After that, we measured dry milk, dry eggs, baking powder, and salt. Next came a concentrated powder called BLV. That stands for butter, lemon, and vanilla flavor.
Did you smell that? Smell?
Oh, it smells
Very strong. Yeah, you want to smell that?
Wow.
And we only need that about 0.7, less than 1 gram.
Oh, tiny bit.
Very tiny, because it's so, concentration is so high, and we definitely don't want too much of that.
Now it's time to measure the shortening. All the directions are carefully checked, and each ingredient is marked off after it's been measured. The dry ingredients are mixed in a large mixer, along with shortening and corn syrup.
And then now, sticky stuff again. And we are going to mix for 1 minute first. And you can see the flour, the shortening, and the corn syrup, they are kind of blending.
Then the liquid ingredient, in this case water, is carefully measured and added to the muffin mix. And the batter is mixed again.
It's all creamy.
Now it's poured into a device called a depositor. The muffin tins are sprayed to keep the muffins from sticking to the pan. The depositor puts out a measured amount of muffin mix into each muffin tin.
Is that fun?
This is just your basic recipe, and then sometimes you add other ingredients.
Oh yeah, you
like
can definitely put like cinnamon sugar or blueberry. I love
Good
blueberry
fruit to
one.
it.
Yes, yes.
we use the same basic muffin mix
Exactly
for all
the
those.
same. Yes, yeah.
Then the muffins are baked in a rotating oven.
Okay, now let's look at the muffin. Does that look good?
They'll be ready in just a few minutes. The muffins smell so good, and they taste good too.
Well, these are delicious. We appreciate your time today.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad you like that.
They're really good.